Hi, everybody. Today we're going to get a quick introduction to the InDesign. And so the good news for you is InDesign looks a lot like Illustrator. It's also vector software, but it's designed for multiple page documents. So look, the toolbox looks a lot the same. We have a new tool we're going to talk about in just a sec. The properties panel will be where you want to find it, but we also have a pages panel that's very important in InDesign. So let's go to the new document window and see where some of the differences between InDesign and Illustrator exist. So we're going to go with our standard print size letter page. I'll use inches, but you should feel free to use centimeters if you like. Here's something new, facing pages. So that refers to the designer's consideration when you have a book or a magazine, the pages face each other, right? So we want to make sure they look good together. Here's actually some of the content in the book on page 140 in the paper copy, 142 in the PDF version on the introduction to InDesign. All right, so here's where you can make any number of pages. We'll stick with one for today. We will turn off facing pages, but we will increase the columns to 2, okay? And the gutter is just that natural space between a column that you've probably never noticed before, and that default value is good to stick with. We have 1/2 inch margins all around, which is very generous, and I think that's a good design strategy if you have the room. So let's go with that. So you can see the lines are column guides. And if you wanted to ever toggle off the visibility of the column guides, just press Command semicolon, okay? I want to show you this frame tool because this has exciting capabilities. When you place an image in a frame tool, so let's draw one at the bottom to span this left column, you're going to notice that X. So always confirm you have the frame tool selected rather than the rectangle tool that we're familiar with in Illustrator. Now, to place an image in the frame tool, have it selected, and then you could say File Place. But we're going to do it so often, you will quickly remember the keyboard shortcut in InDesign to place an image or text is Command D. And I'm going to grab a zebra photographed by Jay Zuko, this beautiful animal, and see how it places it nicely in the frame. But here's your next step. Almost always you're going to do one of these two things next. You're going to go to the object menu, fitting, fill frame proportionately, and now we get to see the entire image in that frame, resize proportionately automatically. I'm going to undo that and show you that second option. Object fitting, fit content proportionately. Now we see that the original format of this image is more wider rectangle than what we have in our frame. So I'm going to undo this and go back, in this case, fill frame proportionately, okay? Now I want to drag my toolbox over closer to where we're working and talk about the functionality differences of the selection and direct selection tool in InDesign. If I wanted to change the size of this frame, I would use the black selection tool, okay? And if I wanted to, I'm going to just undo that, okay? If I wanted to change the size of the zebra within the frame, I would use the white direct selection tool, and notice the control boxes are now red rather than blue, okay? White direct selection to scale the image within the frame. All right, so let's get a nice profile portrait of this beautiful zebra, okay? And then we can position it within the frame just so. If I decided I wanted a smaller frame, I would have to switch back to the selection tool and scale the frame, okay? All right, next I want to talk about placing text in InDesign. It was very smart of Adobe to integrate Word document files into their word processing design software because, let's face it, Microsoft Word is everybody's favorite word editing software. In fact, the book that we're working with was written in Word, and then Roger Fawcett Tang, the designer for the book, created the beautiful page layouts in InDesign. Okay, so I'm actually going to place my text for chapter 5 to demonstrate this. So now I'm going to make sure that you can see the pages panel. All right, so let's keep the properties panel there. We've got our familiar typographic design capabilities and additional ones in InDesign. And then we have our pages panel. So right now we just have one page, and you can see in this little thumbnail that we have the image in the lower left-hand corner. If I wanted to just add pages to this, I could just drag from this little thumbnail at the top of the pages panel and just add that way. Now I'm going to place some text. So File, Place, or Command D, and I'm going to select the Word doc that I wrote chapter 5 in. Press Open, and I can just click at the top of this column and start placing that text. And notice that little plus sign in the square. I can click on that and click and place column by column, right? But here is an excellent pro tip. I just undid. And this time I'm going to hold my Shift key down and position the same placement icon. And notice my pages panel now, I've suddenly got 10 pages. So this is a great pro tip. Hold your Shift key down when you're placing text. InDesign will create every page that you need to place that Word doc content, okay? And then the next step a designer would typically take is to highlight the title, and I will adjust the height of these columns so that they are the same height, but then take the type tool and draw a text box and place my title here. And then I can go over to my properties panel, as you're very familiar with, and make changes to the text and sizes and so on, okay? Now, a lot of you have very sharp eyes, and you have noticed that something's going on here between my images and my text. This is the default setting in InDesign, where text will run behind an image. So let me show you how to address that. First of all, the image is behind the text column. Can you see how this text column is actually selected, and I can't get at my zebra image? So if I hold my Command key down and then click over where the zebra image is, you will be able to select the zebra image. And now to override that default of the text running behind the image, we'll click on this text wrap option. So once I had an image selected, my properties panel showed me these text wrap options. And the wraparound bounding box is the standard setting, okay? I want to show you how to save an InDesign document and then how to export a PDF, because we find PDFs are so essential in sharing files, all right? So File, Save As, and we'll Zebra exit demo, and it's going to be an InDesign document. Press Save, and that will give you a .indd file, okay? And if you wanted a PDF, we are used to just saving a PDF in Illustrator, but now you've got to export, okay? And again, that's another keyboard shortcut you'll learn very quickly. D or File, Export, and we would choose Adobe PDF Print, okay? Okay, that's our quick intro to InDesign, and I look forward to sharing more with you on additional videos on InDesign.